Welcome to All About the Philippines. One of the hardest parts when dating or married to a Filipina can be communication issues. The language barrier and lack of understanding from both sides can cause misunderstandings and arguments in that relationship, all of which are completely unnecessary. In this video, I'll give you 10 ways to better communication with your Filipina that will certainly get you and your Filipina ahead of the game. Just hold on for one moment and we'll get to the video in a flash. Looking to date a Filipina or already dating or married to a Filipina? I use my experiences around my relationship with my Filipina wife of 6 years, as well as my professional experience as a qualified relationship counsellor for the past 10 years to help you on your way. Are you after information, tips and resources for a successful relationship with a Filipina and maintain it? Too easy. Just take a second to subscribe and click the bell icon and I promise you'll never miss out again. When you commence a relationship with a Filipina, you'll find that many speak English in some form, but few will actually speak and understand English perfectly. And most will have a basic command, but as I say, difficulty in understanding many meanings or what you may be saying to her. And this will be even more so as you move further away from the big cities and get deeper into many provinces all over the Philippines. Typically, the Filipinas who may speak and understand English will be the ones who have done a university degree or further education of some type. But as I say, the vast majority will struggle in understanding fully many things you may be asking her. And for many Filipinos, they may pretend to understand what you've said because they may feel embarrassed to tell you that they don't actually understand. Then hours, maybe even days later, you may see her doing something different to what you discussed with her before and thought she may have understood. So you question her and find out that she never really understood you in the first place. This can naturally be frustrating to both of you, and I can tell you it does happen, and still on occasions it will happen with my wife, who has been here in Australia for 6 years. There are of course things that you can both do to get a better understanding of each other's language for more effective communication between the two of you. Just before we go over the 10 ways to better communication with your Filipina, if you're looking to date a Filipina and not sure where to start, then why not start with the Philippines' #1 dating site. You can access this site by clicking my affiliate link in the pinned comment below. It's free to create an account and view many thousands of Filipina profiles today. Many men in our community have found great success on these sites, and you can too. You really have nothing to lose. So here we go, guys, my 10 ways to better communication with your Filipina that will certainly pay off big time if you take the time and make the effort. #1 tip, slow down your speech. Many foreigners may, when they first start dating a Filipina, speak English very quickly like they're used to doing in their own country. One needs to remember that a Filipina may not be used to speaking in English or really understanding English very well. And when you're speaking quickly, she'll get lost in what you're saying almost straight away. She may feel embarrassed to say anything and she'll just smile and nod her head politely, and you think she's understanding what you're saying, but to her it all sounds like mumbled garble. It's really important that you keep reminding yourself to slow down when you're speaking to your Filipina and her family and her friends as well. This can be hard to do sometimes, and you may find it sounds a little funny when you do this, but your Filipina will appreciate it very much and she won't feel as lost. Let your Filipina know that if you start speaking too quickly for her to just let you know and you can slow it down a little. I found that this helped my wife a lot when we first started dating. Tip #2, why not learn some basic words of a dialect? In the Philippines there are many dialects all over the country, and this is why many Filipinas may speak 2 or even 3 dialects. The most common will be Tagalog, Cebuano and Ilocano. So there's a good chance your Filipina will speak at least one of those dialects. So why not look at learning some of her words that may help you communicate with her before you go and visit her or in between the visits. This will be a great benefit to both you and her and will certainly help break down the communication barrier with each other. And for those of you that may be keen enough, why not even consider doing a course? She could do an English course online that you may offer to pay for, and you also may find an online course to learn her dialect. I know Philippines vlogger Dwayne Woolley offers a course in some Filipino dialects. He's an Aussie guy who speaks fluent Tagalog, I believe, so why not check him out on YouTube? Tip number 3 is help her to understand and learn better English. So really be like her teacher. If you guys are doing the online dating thing or are together in person, then take time to help her better understand English words and their meanings. You don't need to get into anything complicated and just keep things quite simple, which will benefit her a lot, not only in speaking English but also in her understanding of English. Set aside just an hour or so, maybe 5 days a week, if that's possible, and you will see the results very quickly, and she'll also be very keen to learn. Tip number 4 is try not to use big words. Try and simplify your words as much as possible. Remember, English is not your Filipina's native language, so for many, they will have basic vocabulary and command of the English language. Remind yourself to use smaller and easier to understand words. This might take some time to get used to, so when you see your Filipina with a slightly confused look on her face, then stop and reword what you've just said and try and rephrase it in a more simplistic way. Think to yourself when you listen to a person talk about space physics, for example, and they're using all these words you don't understand, you lose interest very, very quickly. This will be the same for your Filipina if you start using many words where she'll have no idea what they mean. Tip number 5 is to pay more attention to her body language. Many Filipinas may be too shy to come out and tell you that they don't understand what you're saying, but a good way to find out if your Filipina is understanding is by watching her body language and in particular her facial expressions. Filipinas generally are very expressive people. If she's not understanding, she may have a confused look on her face, or she may even bite her top lip, or may just smile and nod without saying a word. Tip number 6 is to reassure her when you see her struggling to find the words. Let her know that it's okay for her to take her time. This will help her to know that you don't view her as being silly and that you're happy to help support her to learn, and there are no time limits or pressure about learning and understanding English. Patience and understanding here will go a long way, and you both will be rewarded later on. Tip number 7 is play fun games together around her language and your language. Sit down together and write out 5 words in English on a piece of paper. All fairly basic everyday words, and then put 1 word on a table at a time. You say the word and then put that word into a short sentence, then your Filipina will repeat the word and the sentence, and then she can translate that word into her dialect. For example, the word may be pig. Translated to Tagalog, this would be baboy. And then the game goes on with each word. Both of you will not only learn more words over time, but you'll also start to understand their meanings as well. I still remember one I learnt when I was dating my wife. I love you in Tagalog was mahal kita, and I love you too in Tagalog was mahal din kita. I hope I've still remembered those correctly. But you guys will get the idea, and this can make learning a little bit more fun. Number 8 is when you guys are together, try and watch Filipino movies and English movies and help each other to better understand what they are actually saying in the movie. This is also a great way to relax together and learn about each other's culture. But especially you'll be able to explain the meanings of what may be said in the English-speaking movies so she understands rather than interprets herself, which she has most probably been doing for many years. Help her to understand the plot of the movie as the movie progresses, and in time she will start to understand the meanings behind the words and the sentences. Tip number 9 is to help her build her confidence by praising her when she's trying very hard. Increased confidence will lead to better understanding and communication. Never laugh at her when she's trying hard. Always be supportive and encouraging to keep her confidence rising. A Filipina who loses confidence will struggle to regain it where language is concerned, and to reinforce her that there is no hurry in her learning. And tip number 10, check with her when you ask something that she actually does understand what you're saying. This is important, especially in the early stages of the relationship. A simple, let me know if you don't understand, or did you understand me? Now, of course, she still may say she understands you when in fact she doesn't. So that's where watching the body language, as we spoke about before, will give you a better idea. So guys, that's my 10 ways to better communicate with your Filipina. Feel free to leave your comments below. Like the video if you found it interesting or informative. Be sure to share the video with all your networks and subscribe to our friendly community and press the bell icon to get all our future videos. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I appreciate all your support. Take care and bye for now.